The late Roman Republic rapidly consumed Hellenistic territories during its eastern expansion, but this aggressive growth carried a punishing macroeconomic reality. This balance sheet illustrates the immense overhead required for kinetic warfare. Deploying a single Roman legion of 40,000 men demanded massive caloric and financial tonnage. Moving thousands of tons of grain, silver, and armor across the Mediterranean placed extreme financial drag on the state treasury. When those legions finally arrived, they were forced into protracted sieges against well-defended, highly fortified city-states. Roman strategists analyzed this math. They viewed conventional kinetic warfare as a highly inefficient expenditure of capital, rather than a glorious pursuit. To optimize their expansion, Rome actively sought to bypass this military friction. They needed asymmetric, low-cost vectors for regime change. That alternative was the targeted chemical assassination of a foreign leader. Poisoning is often framed as a dramatic or cowardly betrayal. In statecraft, it operates as a ruthless, highly rational economic algorithm designed to circumvent military defenses. Compare the immense caloric cost of an invading army with the negligible mass of a glass vial containing arsenic or hemlock. The financial leverage is absolute. Compromising a single inner circle attendant achieves the exact same political result as a 10-year military siege. The exact unit of exchange required to execute this algorithm is incredibly small, just a few handfuls of silver paid to the right cupbearer. Chemical assassination was the ultimate optimization strategy, allowing Rome to decapitate hostile states for pennies on the dollar. This Roman strategy relied entirely on a specific structural vulnerability within Hellenistic kingdoms. An autocratic state is an inherently centralized system, and that centralization contains a critical engineering flaw. The sovereign's biological body acts as the ultimate single point of failure for the entire government. We see this exactly in the Kingdom of Pontus. Around 120 BCE, King Mithridates V was terminated by a chemical assassination by his inner circle. His successor absorbed a clear lesson from this coup. Kinetic defenses like walls and armies were entirely useless if the biological core of the state remained unpatched. That successor was the young sovereign Mithridates VI. Driven into wilderness exile by the threat that killed his father, he began engineering a solution. Refusing to rely on court mystics, he executed an analytical pivot, turning to rigorous, systematic empiricism to secure his biology. He mapped the chemical threat landscape, systematically gathering the toxic flora and fauna endemic to the region. To institutionalize this process, he employed Scythian Agari toxicologists as his technical advisors and state biochemists. Together, they developed a core protocol, the calculated daily ingestion of sublethal doses of the ancient world's deadliest toxins. This protocol required extreme mathematical precision. A fraction of a gram too much during the testing phase would result in accidental termination. This rigorous R&D program systematically conquered the chemical attack vectors of the ancient world, grounding his survival strategy in pure clinical logic. The cellular mechanics of his defense protocol operated on two distinct biological pathways. This diagram shows metabolic tolerance. Liver enzymes are upregulated to intercept elemental poisons. For example, overproduced rhodonase binds to lethal cyanide, neutralizing it into harmless thiocyanide. The second layer established immunological tolerance. Microdoses of complex venoms forced his immune system to produce targeted antibodies. This internal engineering exacted a severe physiological toll, risking heavy metal accumulation and extreme hepatic stress over time. Medical history eventually gave a clinical name to this biological patching process: Mithridatism. Mithridates had successfully engineered a software patch for his own physiology, completely rendering the Roman assassination algorithm obsolete. Mithridates then escalated his personal biological defense into a massive geopolitical monopoly. The culmination of his R&D program was the formalization of the Mithridatium, a universal defense matrix. This matrix combined 65 distinct chemical and biological ingredients into a single compound. To precisely grind, measure, and synthesize this antidote required clinical tooling and industrial-scale processing. He established a state-run supply chain to support this, deploying Pontic botanists to map and monopolize the harvest of rare toxic plants across the Caucasus Mountains. By monopolizing the region's pharmacological knowledge, Mithridates turned biological defense into a sovereign asset, projecting state power directly through chemistry. On the geopolitical stage, the strategic outcome of this biological firewall was devastating. Rome was denied their cheapest, most effective tool. The asymmetric advantage they used to topple kingdoms was completely neutralized. To achieve regime change in Pontus, the Roman Republic had no choice but to engage in full-scale conventional warfare. This forced the Mithridatic Wars from 89 to 63 BCE, dragging Sulla, Lucullus, and Pompey into grueling physical conflict. Rome was forced into a massive kinetic expenditure of millions in silver and thousands of lives, all because the simple, low-cost poison vial was entirely blocked. Mithridates VI forced the greatest superpower in antiquity to bleed for every inch of territory, purely because they could not hack his biological system.